Welcome to episode number 73 of Unbuckling the Bible Belt podcast. I'm Joe Kindick.
I'm Sharon Bush.
And I'm C.S. Screwus.
You hear that, guys? New voice, new person.
New person, yay, fresh meat.
Fresh motherfucking meat. Unfortunately, Kate's no longer with us because
the asshole
life
stretching.
sucks. Well, she's taking up an asshole stretching apprenticeship. It's an important deal. It's a big thing. It's a lot of work, but eventually she'll become a master asshole stretcher. And if you don't know what that is, basically what they do is they start with a regular asshole, and they get their fingers in, they work it in, then a hand, and then another hand, and eventually they get both feet in, and they stretch the asshole out to be like 6 feet tall.
What can you make out of a 6 foot tall asshole?
Usually police officers. So it's it works out great.
I mean,
it's a
you'd
good
be
job.
very surprised. I experienced that a lot at Catholic school. So
6 feet assholes?
well, yeah,
But
and
before,
the
after
stretching, it's just part of our curriculum.
God damn it. So that's C.S. Screwus. He's our newest addition. I don't know if he'll be here full time, but he'll be on here enough to make us laugh about Catholic school rape. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I can't wait.
Adam Fusion's supposed to be on here, but his drunk ass is probably at the goddamn pool enjoying life. Fuck you.
Yeah, he just
Douche.
blows us off. Doesn't even blow us, just blows us off.
He quit blowing me off months ago. God, son of a bitch. Dick tease. But no, this is going to be a fun time had by most, at least us. Fuck you guys.
So what are we going to talk about tonight, Joe?
We're going to talk about life in general. We're going to get a little bit more of a background on C.S. Screwus, which is funny.
Because it's like C.S. Lewis.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, I know, right?
Holy fuck,
exactly.
I didn't even
exactly.
get that. I didn't even get that. Holy shit.
And the whole time I'm thinking the screw tape letters because, C.S. Lewis wrote screw tape letters, so I think it's even more apropos.
Man, we're onto something here.
God damn, we're some learned ass motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
I don't think C.S. Lewis ever screw taped anything.
No, that was the name of his diatribe or his dialogue with Satan, the screw tape letters.
I know. I was making a joke about his sexual life.
Oh, sorry.
No one likes you. Shut up.
Okay.
No, actually, C.S. Lewis has a great mind, actually.
Yeah.
It's a pity he went to the dark side.
He did go to the dark side. Oh, I would have liked to have slept with him just once.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously.
Who doesn't want to sleep with C.S. Lewis?
I know. I heard he's pretty stiff right now.
He and Tolkien are pretty stiff.
Tolkien's... Yeah. No. Tolkien's probably not stiff.
I don't know. They were BFFs. They might be stiff together.
Ooh. Butt-fucking friends?
Yeah, butt-fucking friends.
Well, if you can't have butt-fucking friends, what kind of friends can you have?
I don't know. I need some butt-fucking friends right now. I'm telling you what.
It sounds like they're barking in the background. We need some peanut butter. All right, we'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, I'd like to introduce the newest member of our fucked up family, C.S. Screwus.
Hey there, how's it going, guys?
Oh, we're going so well. How are you?
It sounds so young.
I'm doing well.
He is a youngster. He's a recent graduate of a Catholic high school.
Oh, man, is he legal?
I did it.
It didn't matter there. It didn't matter.
Well, it matters to me because I'm a teacher, and, you're out of high school, so legally I can fuck you now.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, but it didn't matter where I was from. Didn't matter. The younger, the better, actually.
If it's old enough to crawl, it's already in the right position.
Oh, gross.
Oh, wait, that's the gross joke? Fuck you.
Father bad touch. Father bad touch.
But, so, yeah, recent... So what are you? Atheist? Deist? What are you exactly?
Well, I definitely don't believe, but I wouldn't say I'm like an atheist. I feel like that's also a group, if that's fair.
Oh, so you're pulling the Neil deGrasse Tyson on us. You're like, well, I don't like the label, but I don't believe in God.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll classify myself as Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Fucking pussy. So, would you call yourself cheerfully agnostic? Would you say there's a God at all, or are you just saying, well, I don't
there's
know?
without a doubt not one. I'm okay with that there is not one. So
okay, so
then
you're an atheist. Quit being a pussy.
Atheist.
Yeah, quit being a bitch.
Sure, we'll go with that. That's fine.
It's whatever.
Now he's part of our group.
That's all right. Now you're one of us. One of us. One of us. Oh, sorry. So you were a Christian going into the Catholic school, right?
Yeah, so definitely when I was like a child, I was kind of like forced into it.
Yeah, because you're super old now at 18. I was like a child then.
Well, I was like 6 or 7, so good one. I got baptized when I was 8.
Gotcha.
And I was more pissed off that like I couldn't stay the night at a friend's house. It was on Saturday because I have to get up Sunday and go to church. But like I was forced to go to church. Decided for me that I was going to go to a Catholic high school. Decided that I was going to get confirmed and grow up in the faith.
How do you go from being baptized, which I'm assuming is not a Catholic thing?
No, it's a total Catholic thing.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Like,
christening technically.
You're supposed to get baptized like a week or 2 after your birth.
Yeah.
Well, I knew about christening, but I'm talking about, like, around here, it's a big thing if you're 9 or 10 years old to get dunked under the water and be baptized. I was thinking that was more of a...
like a Baptist thing.
Yeah, like a Baptist thing, like a Methodist thing, not a Catholic thing.
Well, like what had happened was, at first it kind of was a choice. Like they didn't force me to be Catholic, and then it was like, hey, you're going to get baptized at the Catholic Church. How's that sound? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And then, yeah.
They don't do the dunking though, right? They just like immerse your Didn't they like stick your head in the water? No, they don't. They dump it on you or something, right?
Well, no, it's like a container of like holy water, air quotes there, and he takes it in his hand and he rubs it on your forehead and he does the sign of the cross and he says,
"What's he do with the water though?"
That's what I'm saying. He dips his hand in the water, rubs it across.
That was a dick joke.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry.
I know. At least I'm not the only person here now to slow up on the uptake on the joke-ending jokes.
Well, like, for once I thought we were having an engaging conversation.
No, never.
Never.
Well, you talk about pulling it out and rubbing it on a kid's forehead. I immediately go to Catholic priest. Sorry. No, so you got, I guess that is technically baptized, correct? I mean, christening only happens at birth.
Yeah, it's usually with like an oil or like something like that.
Like anointing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you got baptized. You were eventually you became old enough to go to Catholic high school.
Yeah. 8th grade, I had to get confirmed. Go through classes for that to decide that I actually wanted to be a Catholic. But once again, was kind of you're going to be.
Yeah, I've always wondered about confirmation. It's presented to you as a choice. Do you really want to be Catholic? Do you really want to be confirmed in this faith? But it's not really a choice, is it?
It wasn't for me. It was, you're going to go to the class, like, you need to do this, and, you get up there, you pick a saint that represents you, because, like, you're pretty much fully accepting the ideas of the faith and Catholicism and accepting their doctrines and stuff like that. But, you're not really taught all that. It's kind of like just like a grown-up middle school Sunday kid, or Sunday school, I guess.
Who is your saint?
Saint Kilian.
Oh, that's right. Not Saint Elsewhere?
Yeah, Saint Elsewhere. Saint Elmo, actually.
And he was a fiery guy.
Oh, yeah.
So, St. Kilian's, did you do that after the brew, or?
He's a red ale, correct, St. Kilian?
Yeah, I think so, without a doubt.
Imitation Irish ale?
I actually chose St. Kilian because of my family name. It's close to where he, like, became canonized and actually did his, like, ministry, I guess you would say. That's close to where my family is from. So, that seemed the most logical choice since I wasn't going to pick someone that, like, meant something, I guess, per se, for, like, Christians.
Gotcha. So, you went in as a believer. When did you kind of stop believing, or when did you start questioning? I think is a better question.
Well, I've definitely been a skeptic for probably almost all my life. Like, started going to church and the classes, and things didn't add up. They weren't taught well. It seemed like it was more like a fear tactic. So, I was always interested, but I didn't know where to start. So, I went to the high school. In my freshman year, you take a theology of the body class, which is, like every high school class.
Like theology of the body?
Yeah, like, it's supposed to be like a sex ed, but for like a Catholic school, I guess.
Do they call the vagina the holiest of holies? Because that would be amazing.
They did, actually.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Oh, God. That would be so awesome. This is the holiest of holies. That's nuts. Theology of the body. So it's where you can't put your penis until you're married.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't as strict as you would think. Like, there was no, like, condemning you, like, if you believe something else. It was a very open environment, you know. It wasn't all entirely Catholic. There was, like, other religions there. There was non-believers there, which it wasn't a bad environment.
Did they teach you about the loophole?
The poop hole loophole?
Yeah, that's the one.
No, they did not. They, strictly
You learned
avoided
that one the hard way, didn't you?
Well, we were supposed to learn it from the priest.
Bastard.
That was a one-on-one educational
Yeah,
service.
hands-on learning.
Yeah, hands-on learning.
Hands-in learning.
Hands in, damn. That's a good asshole stretcher right there.
It is.
Hands in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask. I know that you had theology every year, all 4 years, and one of your professors spoke at your graduation, and I thought he was very intelligent and very, very knowledgeable. And I wondered, like, how did you go through his classes as a non-believer, and how did that go with him?
So theology, the curriculum is centered like kind of like a pathway. You start with theology of the body, and then sophomore year is church history and doctrines and dogmas, and junior year is morality and ethics, and then senior year you focus back on morality and ethics, but more in like a Christology way. And I actually enjoyed the class because we were able to voice our opinions and what we thought, and the whole first semester of the class is us learning about illogical fallacies and things that were presented in the church from, you know, the origins of Christ all the way up until, like, the ecumenical councils. So we learned about all these things and all these, like, different points of views to, like, figure out what we believed and how the church has arrived of where they have arrived at now.
So the origins of Christ that they were talking about was that it's Yeshua ben Yosef, the Jewish guy, born of a virgin, basically the gospel version of Jesus, not the part of the gospel that kind of contradicts itself, but like born of a virgin, turn the tables, flip the tables, 13-year-old, like learning like that person, and then his morals based on whatever as a perfect being, or as human beings should interpret Christ.
So we definitely focus on, we start with the birth of Christ and, like, what is Mary? Is she Christokos or Theotokos? And Christokos means Christ-bearer, which means she just, like, was a vessel for Christ, essentially, just gave birth to him, like that was the end of her prominence. And then you have Theotokos, which means, like, mother of God, like, God-bearer, something like that. And that's what the Catholics believe, because Jesus is fully human and fully divine, because there's no other way that he could suffer and bring salvation to humanity, I guess you would say. And that's where that comes from. And then you learn through that, and then from down the line, because like for 700 or 400 years, 700 years, that was the biggest battle in the church, was deciding what Mary was, how Jesus was this. And this class, like, really helped me, like, find a background for things I didn't believe, and help, like, to me, reinforce my skepticism and help me find a way, not just say that can't happen because, like, it gives, like, logical evidence for it.
I've always wondered, okay, Mary was essentially raped based on she was God raped, really.
Yeah.
She didn't really have a choice about it. Was that ever brought up in your class at all?
No, because, the four Gospels, in each one, excuse me, he's brought up in the dream. Mary is met in the dream by the angel, and depending on each Gospels, they're approached, and it's like, God has chosen you. So it was like he chose you, and, obviously that sounds like rape, because she wasn't like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool. She was probably like, what the hell are you talking about? But it was more of, like, contextual time period. Of course, that's what everyone's going to go for. Look at the context of the time.
Yeah, because rape is cool back then.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Women are cattle, all that good shit. That's interesting. Sharon?
Well, you're talking about all this theological, philosophical, grandiose stuff, and I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder how hot the girls were at his Catholic school. Were they like super stereotypically Catholic girls, high school hot?
Yes and
Yes,
no. We
yes
definitely
and no.
we definitely had the range of, your skirt's too short, please pull that down, or hey, your skirt's a little long, you should roll that up. But yeah, overall majority, there were some good looking girls there.
Yeah, not to be the creepy uncle here, but holy shit! One day I was like, dude, wow, I felt dirty. I felt dirty as fuck picking him up from school one day. I was like, god damn.
Uncle Bad Touch.
Uncle Bad Touch. That's right.
Well,
I'm sorry.
No, that was my burning question. I'm sitting here
That's
thinking
the burning
about,
question you have. We're talking about, theology and stuff, and you're like, oh, the hot chicks with the plaid skirts on.
I was thinking about the nice round booty.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a while for me. We'll talk about that in the next segment, but I'm running on fumes here, so thoughts of Catholic schoolgirls' asses are what's getting me by right now.
So pedophilia, that's good.
Yeah,
Like-
no.
they're all 18.
They're
In
all
your
18.
head, they're all 18.
And it's all
My head,
consensual.
they're all-
They're 18 and consensual.
18 and it's going to be the title of my autobiography, 18 and consensual.
18 and consensual.
Yeah, awesome. The CS Screwus story. No.
All right, well, do you guys have anything else you want to delve into
I
here?
think we're good. Well, I'd like to know exactly when you became basically atheist.
Like fully decided. Like
Yeah, besides 5 minutes ago.
definitely my junior year of high school. Definitely.
What happened? Were you posed a question that didn't have a logical answer, or...
Well, I mean, really the sciences at the school, I always had skepticism. I had, reinforcement from people that I knew, and then I actually just, decided to look into stuff, and, I would come across, certain things, and I would look into that, and I was like, well, how does that add up to this? And then junior year theology for me was just morality and ethics, and I was like, it was just, very ridiculous, more or less. People, blindly... First day of class, the teacher goes, who here is Christian? Raise your hand. Who here is not? I was the only one not to raise my hand, and the class just, overall gave me this, disgusting look.
Well,
and
you're at a Catholic school, bro. I think that's going to
Well,
happen.
yeah, but, and then I posed the question, why do you believe? And then 50% probably was, well, I mean, we've gone to church our whole life. No one ever looked into it for themselves, and I think that's why we still have religion, is because it's a tradition. It's passed down, like Christmas and
Right.
Easter, and it's just passed down, so people don't want to change the tradition.
That's exactly the issue I have with my wife and daughter. It's like my wife was brought up in that, she was born in the church, and well, we want to take our daughter to the church. And I'm like, well, let's wait till she's old enough to start thinking for herself before you start indoctrinating. Because that's a lot of what you're talking about here is indoctrination.
And I 100% agree with you. I think people should make their own informed, reasoned decisions, and I use that word lightly because obviously if you're going to learn about, science and stuff like that and then choose Christianity, I think you need to rethink your reasoning on things. But, I think you should have a certain age where you decide, not you're born, you're a Christian, you're going to die a Christian. Because we're not getting anywhere in society. It's just the same repetition over and over, and I think that's what's
I
hurting
don't
us.
know. I think saying that there should be an age at which you decide is just as bad as saying you don't get to decide at all, because what if you set the age at, let's say, 13, which isn't that what most Christians consider the age of accountability?
No, it's 7, I think.
Oh, is it 7?
I think so. I think the age of accountability is 7.
Well, let's say 7 then. I don't know any 7-year-old, and I work with 7-year-olds, who could tell me now what they truly believe independently of what their parents believe. So...
No, I totally agree. It's like when you there's an age, the Bible has an age of accountability, and I think it's 7. But
Right.
No, I agree with you. When I see all these people, I don't think kids. Oh, I think you're right. More like 13, around there.
Yeah.
Well, not even a set age, but you shouldn't have to force a kid to go to church. If he you want to take your baby or a toddler to church, that's fine, but don't sit in Sunday class and tell them, if you don't believe this, little Jimmy, you're going to hell, and just terrify them at the idea, because you're not helping them as much as you're just forcing them into something through fear. And that's what it's come with. Like, I remember going to Sunday school. We learned about hell as this fiery abyss that's full of demons that want to hurt you if you don't believe in God. In actuality, if you ask
Tempe, Arizona, yeah,
you ask any theologian or anything like that, it's just a place completely devoid of God. Like, there's no fire and brimstone. It's just, to them, it's like, to their world, like, the reason things are good or things happen.
I wouldn't say any theologian. I think the Baptists fully fucking believe in hell, but a lot of their stuff is totally punishment based, and you can tell that with their attitudes on a lot of things. I know, like, the Seventh-day Adventists don't believe in hell, and they're with you on that. It's being devoid of God. Like, the people that have already died that weren't believers, when Jesus comes back, they get to see they fuck up, and then they go back to being dead. So yeah, hell is the lack of God in their lives. But you know what? If that was what hell was, and you wanted to teach that to your kids, I don't know if I wouldn't be for it, but I wouldn't necessarily be against it. It's that whole torture, being burned alive for the rest of your fucking life, or your rest of your eternal existence. I have a real big issue with that.
Because you're scary kids, essentially, that they're not getting anywhere with them, and that's not the way to parent a kid.
Agreed. It's like that's way worse than spanking, and spanking sucks.
It's like spanking a kid for hitting a kid. Like, cure violence with violence.
Yeah, that's fighting fire with fire, or maybe even gasoline.
Yeah. All right. Well,
this has been very enlightening. Thank you.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from an 18-year-old, which makes me feel really, really dumb. So, thanks a lot, CS Screwus.
Way to go, asshole.
It's definitely not like that.
All right, good talk, man. Thanks.
All right, folks, it's time for another installment of WWAD. What would an atheist do? Or agnostic or humanist or secularist or whatever you want to call yourself.
I don't think S is A and S work out well.
A and S don't work that well.
Well, like, what would an atheist do? WWAD and then WW secularist.
Secularist?
That's a secularist. What would an asshole do? He'd fart a lot and probably poo. Probably do some pooing.
Oh, God. Well, tonight I'm going to bring my current problem to the table. And Joe already knows about my current problem. CS doesn't know yet. He probably can't relate because he's not old enough to be married or ever been married.
Don't do it.
But as of last weekend, I am now a 40-year-old, 2-time divorcee.
Well, not officially.
Not officially, but I haven't signed the papers, but it's everything but paper signed. I mean, there's no going back. So I never wanted to be that person, that 40-year-old person who had been divorced twice. I just knew. I don't know.
Why does that matter?
To me, it just does.
Because
you think that's because you're a woman?
Well,
I guess so.
No. That's definitely the society we're in. That's just like, I mean, maybe it's on a personal level if you don't mind me chiming in, but I think it's definitely an American culture idea that you've been married twice. Like,
do you feel like you failed twice, or do you feel like it's?
I feel like I failed twice, majorly. The first divorce I wanted, so I don't feel like I failed so much because I felt like that was me asserting myself, getting out of a terrible, terrible marriage. But the second one, I was perfectly happy, perfectly la 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 la, floating along in my good little world, and all of a sudden, Cliff just decides he wants a divorce. And he tells me, and within 10 minutes of telling me, is out the front door, never to be seen again. Never to be heard from again.
Hashtag classy.
I know. So, I just don't know. I feel like a major failure. He told me I wasn't the person he married, and the woman that he loves now is more like the person he married, and that's why he wants to be with her. And
did he give reasons why that you weren't the person he married?
He said I don't laugh enough anymore, and I'm too serious, and oh gosh,
that motherfucker would have had a job.
What?
So that motherfucker would have had a job. It probably wouldn't have been an issue.
Probably wouldn't have, but just that I'm not the person that he married, so I don't conversate with him anymore. I mean, after 8 years of being married, there's not a lot to conversate about. I mean, I tell him how my day went, he tells me how his day went. We watch a little TV, we go to bed. the sex was great whenever there was sex, but there was never a lot of sex. I hope she gets it more than I do, or I did, which she probably will.
Bitch. I don't know. That's So what does an atheist do in this situation?
Well, this atheist has just put her big girl panties on and kept on trooping. I am not... the first couple of days was really, really hard, and I cried a lot, but I got up... This happened last Saturday. I got up Monday morning and went to work. I haven't let it slow me down one bit. I said, fuck you, and I got on Tinder. I got on eHarmony.
You want eHarmony?
Yeah.
You should have gone on Christian Mingle.
I should have. I didn't even think of that.
You should totally do it. I mean, if you're playing the odds, Christian Mingle is going to be your place.
Why do you say that?
Because you live in the South.
I don't know how many
You'll
Christians...
get some Christian Dingle.
Christian Dingle on Christian Mingle.
Damn right.
I don't know how many Christians would go for atheist poontang.
All right, well, I can tell you how many Christian girls go for Atheist D, and it's a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got a few, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like all of them.
All the girls?
All of the girls that I've slept with, except save one, have been Christians.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You didn't turn them?
No, God's not real.
So
I'm going to just reaffirm their faith. He just kept saying, "Oh God, oh God."
So what should I do? What should I?
I don't know. Divorce is such a shitty thing. Marriage is a shitty thing. I think. I don't know. The concept of marriage is kind of cool if monogamy is your thing, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. He could have slept with this woman all he wanted, if that's what he wanted. But apparently, he wants love or some approximation of that.
That might be why you're getting divorced. He wants love or something. What the fuck? Fuck that guy.
I loved him. I loved him like crazy. I still love him like crazy. If he came and knocked on the door right now, I'd probably fuck him, but I wouldn't take him back.
That's not the same thing. Fucking and loving are not the same thing.
I know, but they can be.
No, they're never the same thing, ever.
They can be.
No. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Okay.
You can fuck someone because you love them, or you can fuck someone, or you can love someone when you're fucking them, or you can love fucking them. But fucking and loving are not the same thing.
I don't know. I guess it's a woman thing.
I guess. I don't love them hoes.
No, I'm not saying all fucking is loving. I'm saying when you fuck someone you love, then to me...
that's exactly what I just said. That's literally what I just said.
You didn't let me finish. When
sorry.
you fuck somebody you love, then the fucking is love. The act itself is love. You don't think so?
No, I don't know. Maybe. But that's two different things, though.
Oh.
If you just because like you already love them and the fucking enhances said love.
I guess so.
Yeah, I don't think fucking. Who knows? Who knows? Well, I mean, what the fuck's love anyway? It's a secondhand. It's a secondhand. Yeah, it's a secondhand emotion.
What's love got to do with it?
Exactly.
So, CS, what is your take on all this?
Well, I mean, someone who's never been in like a super serious like dependent relationship. I mean,
oh, he called you out.
No, that's not what I meant. You know, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
I'm just
Are you saying I'm dependent?
I've never lived with someone for 8 years that I've been in a relationship like that, so obviously I can't give you super insightful information. I mean...
We've dated as an atheist, correct?
Yeah.
How'd that work?
Well, you know, all were Christian girls, so... Didn't matter.
Yeah. Don't be shy, little buddy.
I'm not, pal.
Just call me pal.
Sport.
I ain't your pal, buddy. I ain't your buddy guy.
Oh, can you feel the love tonight? So you can't really make any kind of judgment call here.
Well, I mean, it's like a fresh start. Obviously, he sounds like a dickhead, so you get to start over from there. Now you don't have to deal with, like, pressures. I mean, if you want to, you can just sleep around as much as you want now,
She had that before she got divorced.
Yeah, but now there's, like...
Yeah, they had an open marriage, though.
Yeah, but you see, the marriage, you don't have to be married anymore.
Yeah, that weirded some people out, so I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Oh, well, then win-win. Winner, chicken dinner.
Win-win.
I say that, but... I mean, I bitch about marriage and how I think it's stupid, but I like coming home to my wife occasionally. Not all the time.
Occasionally.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. There's nights I wish I was still man whore Joe. You know how that is.
You can be in your dreams.
No, my dreams are usually full of violence, so that's kind of weird.
You kind of scare me.
Can't help it. That's the way it works.
Either you're man whore or you're violent.
Oh, no, my dreams are violent. I'm a man whore.
Don't get too confused.
Yeah. There's no sex in my violence. This isn't Bush. And fired. No.
Oh, well, I guess that's... If anybody else has any advice for me, please drop me a line and let me know.
That's what you get for dating someone that thinks ghosts are real.
I know. For dating, for marrying someone who thinks ghosts are real.
Well, that's your fault. Dating was your first mistake.
Ooh.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in God, but believes ghosts are real.
I mean, that makes sense, obviously.
It's just, he just doesn't believe in the Holy Ghost.
That's the only ghost that isn't real.
It's the hoary ghost.
Hoary ghost.
Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Bible Stories Few Read to the Bitter End. I'm your host, Kate, the Bluegrass Skeptic. This is episode 3, entitled, I'm Sorry, Babe, You Gotta Take One for the Team. This week, I want to share with you a story that involves Abraham and Sarah, but not about Sarah giving birth to Isaac at an extremely old age. I'm sure many of you remember that story in the Bible. That's the one she's most famous for because she laughed at the idea of having a child past her childbearing years. You'll find this story in Genesis 12. And I want to review this because they had a brief open relationship with a local ruler. Like, open relationship. Like, Sarah and Abraham were married, and Sarah married somebody else. Normally, in those ancient times, it was kind of the other way around. You had the husband with multiple wives. Not in this case. It's a little different, okay? These two famous biblical characters even got rich off of this. In fact, I'd say that's probably how the Hebrew tribes in that move forward into the history that they've got is because of this. So I guess in a way Sarah's a bit of a heroine here. But anyway, it's an interesting tale because you're going to end up reading this 3 separate times. Yes, this is in the Bible. Same story. 3 different instances. There's just some slight variations to change the tone of the transgressions in each version, though. And a lot of folks don't realize this is in the Bible 3 times. So I want to go into that after I relate some of these 3 versions as to why it's in the Bible 3 times. And I'll cover that at the end. But basically, let's get some background first, okay? We're dealing with Abraham. We're dealing with his wife, Sarah. And this is version number 1. So this is in chapter 12 of Genesis, like starting at the top, like all of these stories always do. So imagine yourself waking up and you're being told you've got to leave your father's lands because it's time to make your own way. And it's even worse than that because there's a famine on. So pickings are kind of slim for a good area of land to make a new go of things on. Head to Egypt. Okay, this is what God basically tells Abraham to do. But there's a bit of a problem. Sarah, his wife, she's a hottie. And the Egyptians are sure to know it when she comes walking through. So what's Abraham going to be able to do about it? Should he just turn around and suffer in a famine-plagued lands? Or does he want to risk it in Egypt? So Abraham has a solution. As they're on their way to Egypt, he turns to look at her from atop his camel and he's like, babe, you are so damn sexy. And I know these men in these parts are going to kill me just to get to you. If shit goes down, tell them you're my sister so I don't get my ass killed. Now, referring to the relationship as being brother and sister isn't exactly a total lie either. See, like many families in those days, most households had multiple wives, including that of Abraham's father. See, Abraham and Sarah were in fact siblings, just by different mothers. Apparently, Abraham essentially wanted to leave out the fact they were married siblings, though. That way he could still live to see another day, and establish himself in Egyptian lands until the famine ended. Did a sibling-only label on their relationship mean Sarah would go unmolested? Of course not. In fact, once in Egypt, everyone couldn't miss her walking around town. She must have rivaled Helena of Troy because the Pharaoh of Egypt scooped her up and married her. After all, he was Pharaoh and Abraham was just her brother. So essentially, Sarah was literally taking one for the family team, with no promise of ever being returned to her secret marriage. Now, of course, Yahweh knew that something like this might happen, so he did what Yahweh always does. He sent plagues on Pharaoh and all the women he sought pleasure with. So when Pharaoh realized everyone caught the clap except for Sarah, he began snooping around and figured out his Hebrew hottie was married. This whole time, Pharaoh had been lavishing wealth and cattle onto who he thought was Sarah's brother, Abraham. Now he finds out it was all a sham and ultimately boots Abraham and Sarah out of Egypt for the deception. And of course, though, the following chapter's first sentence even brags about how much Abraham was paid for Sarah's marital prostitution, all of which they got to keep, as the Pharaoh told him to not let the door hit ya or your good Lord split ya. Now, this nearly same story then returns again in Genesis chapter 20, right from the top again. Some details as far as it goes would be inconsistency. A, they were escaping a famine. B, Abraham doesn't want to die in the name of protecting his wife, and he doesn't want to tough out a famine either. And C, he took payment for that ass. The only changes were the ruler in the country. God actually intervenes this time, though, and he really makes his presence known. He not only is covering everyone involved in the ruler's household with a spiritual condom preventing pregnancy, this time, God admits he subverted the king's free will and prevented him from getting all rapey with Sarah. Also, Abraham is called to the carpet about not telling the king that they were not just siblings, but fucking married. Abraham's excuse? Y'all might have killed me over her. What could I do? Apparently, though, there must be truth to that statement in his line of thinking, because the king immediately offers to let the couple settle anywhere they want, and he paid Abraham $1,000 in silver to restore Sarah's honor. Once the cows basically hit the bank, Abraham prays up a solution to the barren wombs of the king's harem, and babies were booming again. Then in Genesis chapter 26, we read the second version again, but still ever so slightly changed. In the third version, this time the couple isn't Abraham and Sarah, but their son Isaac and his wife Rebekah. Now, some of the details again are the same, and that would be A, famine, B, a sexy wife, C, Isaac doesn't want to risk it in famine-wasted lands, and he doesn't want to get his head cut off. D, Rebekah is taken as soon as she gets into the country, and E, it's the same king and country as version 2. What a creepy old ruler, right? Strangely, though, in this third version, God did not intervene at all, except for plugging into Isaac's head where to go in order to escape the famine all around him. Much like the second version of this story in Genesis 20, the king doesn't ever touch Rebekah in any way. In fact, there isn't any telltale signs of Isaac and Rebekah's trickery via like a venereal plague or lack of pregnancy. No, it was the king's observation of Isaac lapping it up with his sister out in the courtyard. Apparently, that was a major public no-no, even in the ancient Middle East times. Of course, the king realizes this isn't sibling play, but marital flirtations. So in this final tale of wife lending, Isaac and Rebekah really are not siblings, but a normal married couple who lied about their relationship out of fear of death. When Isaac explains the reason for lying and putting his wife's gorgeous body at the mercy of the king's desires, again, the ruler actually doesn't ever really disagree with his line of thinking. He actually concedes to the husband's fears, sends out a warning to not touch the couple on, threat of death, basically. And yet again, the married couple gets free access to the lands with the payments earned from Rebekah's beauty while in the king's possession. So why was this story not only told in 3 different chapters of Genesis, but not even consistently? Mostly because none of these tales were literally true, according to Jewish scholars. They are simply oral variations of a popular story about a favorite patriarch and his lady love in the annals of Jewish lore. Everyone loves a good story about deception and adultery, especially during times when such things were major and punishable taboos. Who doesn't respect a heroine taking one for the team in order to protect her husband? Now, there are many who do not realize this is an utter tale of fancy, retold 3 times due to popularity or the lessons involved in its purpose. Some folks literally don't even know it's in there 3 damn times. It's generally accepted by most scholars this is not a historical occurrence, as most doubt even Abraham would make the same mistake twice, let alone get away with it twice for that matter. And that, my friends, is yet another Bible story few read and reread and read a 3rd time until the bitter end. Stay tuned next week when I talk about fun Bible stories where God actually encourages all types of government, including socialism, communism, and martial law.
Now please bow your heads for the new atheist prayer. To the mortally created Father in heaven, I decided to forego your name. Your kingdom was false. Your will was non-existent on earth and even in the stories I heard of heaven. Every day I earn my family's bread. I work hard to have my wrongs forgiven and hope I am shown compassion in return as I show to everyone that has wronged me. I no longer let your promises lead me into irrational decisions as I understand I only have myself to blame. Amen.